Today I will be doing my first coaching session, and my name is Dylan. I'll be doing this coaching session for a summoner named Hello, I'm Zachary. Firstly, I'm going to do an op.gg review of the game. I looked at your match history and your op.gg and realized that you play not too many champions. However, it's better you play 3 champions maximum. So out of the list of champions you play, I realized you play Rakan, Fiddlesticks, Soraka, and Sona, and even Siva as an ADC. So from these champions that you have, you should play, in my opinion, as a recommendation, Soraka and Sona, and choose between either Fiddlesticks or Rakan. If you play more than 2 champions, it results in you losing skill gradually on all the champions as mentioned. And this is key to climbing. You need to abuse your strengths in the lane. If the enemy lane is more passive, while your lane is more of an aggressive lane, you need to realize this at the champion select screen, where if you have a more aggressive ADC combo with an aggressive support, while the enemy team has a weaker ADC and a weaker support. I'll now look at the recommended summoner spells. In all situations, you want to take Flash or Exhaust, unless you're versing Soraka as an enemy support. Because if you take Ignite in the situation against a Soraka, you're able to apply what is known as Grievous Wounds. Grievous Wounds is a specific debuff that is able to decrease the healing a specific champion is able to do for themselves. So if you are able to apply Ignite to Soraka herself, she'll have a diminished amount of healing from her Qs. Similarly, if you apply this Ignite to her ADC, she will have a diminished amount of healing through her W onto her ADC. And now look at the recommended skill max order. For Sona, I recommend that you max Q first. You put a point into Q first, like you have been doing. Then you max your W, then your E. This is preferable for a weak enemy lane, as I mentioned before. At the start of each game, you should analyze the bot lanes. If your team has a stronger bot lane, as in terms of aggressiveness, in comparison to the enemy team who has a weaker lane, like in terms of the game that you have played, which I'm analyzing in this op.gg, it was you were playing Soraka and your ADC was Tristana, while the enemy ADC was Misfortune and the support was Tarek. In a lane like this, the enemy is definitely stronger than you. And so, in these situations, you need to modify your skill max order. Similarly as with Soraka. With Soraka, in a situation like in the game that I'm analyzing, you should firstly max your W as usual, max your Q, then your E. This should be done in all games. However, if you are playing against an aggressive lane, you should put 1 point into Q, then 1 point into W, followed by another point into E, and then you max your W. So you basically want to have a stronger heal than the enemy, so you'll be able to sustain in the lane since it is such an aggressive lane. However, given that it was in a situation where the enemy lane is more aggressive, you should take another skill max order. So you should take Q first, then your second level, you should take either Q or E. It is your choice. If you believe that you will have the potential to kill the enemy laners stronger, then you should take E, because you'll be able to land what is known as a Q plus E combo on Soraka. When you land the Q, it slows them, and therefore you'll be able to apply the E simultaneously, and you're more likely to get rooted. Similarly, you would then want to max your W to just sustain the lane. So this applies just as with Sona. If you're against a strong enemy lane, you want to max your W first, then your Q, then your E. I will now look at the recommended item build. Your current build choice is good from your match history. However, I consider you use Locket for all supports. In my opinion, using Locket after redemption is your best bet, as if your team has a strong teamfight potential, which you should be able to analyze at the loading screen, where it shows the champions on your team and champions on the enemy team, then you should be able to judge this and take Locket if your team has strong fighting potential. I'm going to give a summary of, in my opinion, the recommended ideal strategy for this game. In the early game, you need to make specific choices, similarly in the mid to late game. In the early game, I suggest you play moderately safe to farm up, you avoid turret stuns, and you misfortune Q bounce. Mid to late game, you should inform your team to engage team fights in chat, because your team is overall stronger from analyzing at the loading screen than the enemy team, and so through analysis of both team compositions, you should be able to know that your team is stronger than the enemy. In team fights, you should therefore use W, which is your heal, on low allies. This would both heal them and apply Ardent Sensor. It is most beneficial to apply this to Tristana or Warwick, because if you apply Ardent Sensor to a champion that has better attack speed ratios, meaning their attack speed on their autos are faster, therefore you will benefit more from this attack speed boost. You should also save your ultimate when many allies are low. It is not a good idea to use your ultimate when one ally is low, or basically when like 2 of your allies are low. The only situations where I think you should do this is if it is a heavy damage champion like Tristana. Another thing I suggest is you should also buy a refillable potion once you get out of lane. So once you're past laning phase, which should be around, I would say, maybe around 12 minutes, depending on how long the game goes, or the pace of the game, you should stock up on health and use these refillable potions during team fights. Then, you should save your E when misfortune has ultimate to silence it, this is very important, because to silence MF's ult, their enemy team's teamfight potential significantly reduced. And because of this is significantly reduced, your team will be on top, and therefore this will increase the chance of winning team fights. Winning team fights in each league game is very important, but there are certain instances where your team will be weaker than the enemy team, and so you cannot play the game in this way. You need to analyze your win conditions at the start of every game. This is why it is important to analyze the team compositions on your team and the enemy team at the start of the game. Lastly, I suggest you use exhaust on the strongest enemy when it is up. I never suggest using your exhaust on an enemy that is not able to apply a large amount of damage over a specific short period of time. Therefore, in case of this game, I suggest you use your exhaust mainly on Zed or Misfortune when she tries to channel her out, if you are unable to use your E in this situation. In complete summary, I suggest the ability to win this game is to engage in team fights at the mid to late game and siege towers. In the next video, I will talk about the specific replay analysis and the information relating to it. Thank you for listening.